Guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's episode I want to show you how I planted two of my favorite roses in the patio area next to my deck. You can apply this idea to any shrubs or climbing vines you want. Maybe you have a pergola that you want to cover with some jasmine, grapevine, wisteria would be nice, or anything you'd like. This is the area before, and this is a sneak peek of how it's looking now, 1 year after planting. As I said, the challenge was that I wanted to have roses in the patio area, but there was no soil around my deck where to plant them, and I didn't want to plant them in pots. If I can avoid it, I don't like growing roses in pots. I think they require much more maintenance, and buying a large enough pot and the soil is an extra cost that I would like to avoid. And for sure it needed to be big enough pots because the roses that I have chosen are the Generous Gardener by David Austin and Eden by Meilland, both medium to large climbers. So my idea was to lift up one slab and to plant my roses, but before I show you how I did it, let me show you and tell you a few words about the roses that I have chosen. First rose is the Generous Gardener by David Austin. It was a dream come true when I finally had this rose in my garden. This is the rose that I saw first time, I think on a magazine, when I found out about David Austin roses, and I was so impressed by their beauty. This is a medium climber reaching 15 foot, that's 4.5 meters in height. It has a strong old rose musky myrrh fragrance, and it's a repeat flowering with the pale pink flowers, and it's hardy to zones 5B through 9B. The second rose is Eden or Pierre de Ronsard by Meilland. This is a very popular rose and I think it's everyone's favorite. This is a climbing reaching up to 12 foot, that's 3.5 meters, with cream flowers and carmine pink edges. It has a very mild fragrance and is great as a cut flower. The flowers last at least 1 week on the vase. And on top of that, it's very disease resistant. So to plant the rose, the first thing was to clear the area. I will start with the Generous Gardener. I removed the concrete slab and I was curious to see what I will find underneath. There was a thick layer of sand and grit that made the base layer for the paving. It took me some time and elbow grease to dig everything out, but I dug the sand and some soil and I replaced it with compost. In the planting hole, I've put some rose fertilizer and some bloodfish and I planted the rose. I planted the rose and then I took it out because I wasn't happy with the depth of planting. I was fiddling this quite a lot because I wanted to find the right position regarding the direction where the canes grew, but also regarding the planting depth. I planted this rose at the same level with the grafting point. The second rose that I planted is Eden, and this is how the area was looking before planting. I did the same thing. I started by clearing the area, I removed all the pots, and then I dug out one slab and I cleared all the sand and the grit. In this case was a little bit harder to lift the slab, but I used my spade and a trowel and I managed to do it. I will say again, it did took a little bit of elbow grease and I don't think I will damage the structure and the integrity of the pavement. I took out the existing soil, I replaced it with some compost and I put some rose fertilizer and some bone meal like I used to the other rows. As you can see here, the root system is not so strong, but it's okay. I purchased both roses from 2 different local garden centers and they grew okay. I was turning and spinning these rows to find the right position to be able to train the canes on the fence. Also, I was being careful with the planting depth because I wanted to keep the grafting point at the soil level. This is how the area was looking right away after I finished planting. And this is how it's looking now after 1 year. I am very happy with the growth of this rose. It's really strong and healthy, and it has produced really beautiful flowers. It's mid-October now when I'm filming this update, and this is kind of the third flush. The first one around May was spectacular, the second one not so great, and the third one has even less flowers. If you are wondering about the generous gardener, well, I don't have it anymore in my garden. It grew very nice, it had 2 very long canes and very healthy foliage. It also had a few nice flowers, but I decided to remove it from my garden because I wasn't happy about the flowers. They shatter very quickly. I think they last about 2 days on the plant, which I think it's so sad because I'm not growing roses for leaves, I'm growing them for the flowers. And even if the generous gardener is a prolific bloomer, I rather choose to replace it with some other variety that has more of the characteristics that I wish on a rose. I think it grew very nice for the first season. It's a very healthy rose, very prolific, very vigorous, but I decided it wasn't for me. Back to the Eden rose, I cannot praise it enough. This is one of my favorite roses and I cannot wait to fill in this space. I'm even thinking to install a trellis and to offer more support as it grows. It's a prolific bloomer, healthy foliage, long-lasting flowers. Only the fragrance, it's a very mild one. But this is a very beautiful rose in his appearance, and it's a rose worth growing in my opinion. I will leave you with some footage of Eden from this summer. But before I finish this video, I want to take a minute to say thank you to each and every one of you who took the time to subscribe to my channel and watch my videos. I'm a really shy person and the idea of having a YouTube channel was something that I never dreamed of. I started only because I couldn't find so many information when I was doing my research before buying roses, and I was thinking that somebody can use some of my experience. So thank you again, I do appreciate each and one of you, and in the next episode I will start making some reviews about some roses from my garden. It will be something like 1 year performance review. If you are curious to see which of my roses grew the fastest in their first year, you can click here and watch this next episode. Until next time, happy gardening everyone, bye!